Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, 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 hi. I might almost be in focus every now and then, somewhere. Hey team, how's it going? It feels like it's been a long time. Um, it's literally been a week. Hi George, welcome. Yes, I feel like this is good. I feel like I get to travel right now and I'm in the States. So hopefully you get to feel like sort of you had a trip to New Zealand as well, with my funny accent. Hope you're doing well. I did a bunch of shows and I've been honestly pretty exhausted, but missed you all last week. And it's nice. It is nice to be back doing. I was like, how does this work? How do I set up camera, audio, this live streaming thing? But I think we're there. I think we're good. And yeah, literally, this is the side that doesn't get shown probably as much, which is when you're doing a lot of shows just back to back every day, turning up and gigging. It's very easy to get pretty spent. Whether that's, and this is not touring, this is all being in Auckland with a few drives, but yeah, I as I saw your name pop up, Matt, I'm like, I am very grateful to be gigging. So, but this is just me sharing what's going on, and the flip side of sometimes being like, okay, we can do it. Muster some energy for the next show, you know. Charlotte, hi. Matt, hi. Welcome everyone that's on, and cheers for being here. Another little Tuesday Ask Me Anything. I'm gonna go through, unless there are crazy objections, I'm gonna go through a very, very cool little rhythm exercise that was passed on to me from a drummer friend, which will end up as a video on the channel probably tomorrow. I've got some editing to do to get that out to you. Ade, hi, how's it going? I'm good, thank you. Just saying, a little bit exhausted, but good, and grateful for a day of guitar practice and life admin today. So yeah, we can talk about the loop pedal as well. Oh, thank you, team. Yeah, literally, I mean, it's thanks to all of you. The channel, we hit 10K subs, which is super cool. It honestly, it just feels super good to feel like I've been able to contribute something to a whole bunch of people across the planet. So yeah, I appreciate all of you for hanging out, and that's literally my goal with all of this stuff. It's like, to be able to contribute something through video where hey, I get to make a bunch of cool friends and we get to hang out, but hopefully either through watching these videos you learned something, maybe you had a smile, a laugh at some bad jokes. Speaking of which, what does an exploding panda eat? Bam boom! Ah. Yeah, okay. Jokes, not my specialty, but I enjoy them. So, yeah, we can talk about the new Boss RC300 looper. And that was it. We're back to 9,000 subs as soon as I started telling jokes. Oh, well. Funny other people thought they were funny. Yeah, should we start with the Boss RC300? I think I will do a little rig rundown of what I'm running with it for you all. I love it. It's amazing. Thank you, Matt, for your knowledge and suggestion on control pedals for it. That has just made life a lot simpler after making it more complicated, of course, I'm plugging in cables. I literally have the Boss RC300 set up and another pedal board, and I have a lot of cables going between the two. So there's, I'll do a rig rundown on this because it'll be easier if you can see it. But I literally have 2 control pedals that go from the other pedal board to the RC300. Then I have a mic switcher, which means my mic goes into that. One comes out to the RC300, one comes out to the desk, so that I can loop without any vocals while I'm playing, which I really like doing. It helps speed up loops and means I can add fun things in while I'm singing. While I'm singing. Are you angry about the lack of assigns yet? Yes, absolutely. The funny thing is, if you're not familiar with the RC300, you can have 4 control switches. So you'd think that's fine. But the power of the RC100 really is that to one assign switch, I can assign multiple things. So I could have the effects turn on. I could have loop 3 stop, for example. Matt's going to give you all the other things. But like I could assign, let's say, 5 different things just to that one pedal that I wanted to happen at once. But the RC300 only allows you 8 assignments in total. So if I use 5 on one pedal, which would be extreme, let's be honest, but if I use 5 on one pedal, these would have to do individual things. So yeah, I have them set up at the moment. For those of you, Charlotte, are you using the RC300? Let me know in the comments what loop pedal you're using. But I have them set up. One that I actually deleted because I ran out of assigns. It's starting. One is to start tracks 1 and 3, just to have it be punchy and snappy. One is to start tracks 1 and 2, again, so I can stop things and start them both and have it be a full sound straight in. One is erase all, which there goes 7 of the assigns, and I made the volume, the loop volume, the expression pedal, I should say, the loop volume. And just purely for curiosity at the moment, I'm mostly using it to play around with fade outs and fade outs and as a little stop and back in, rather than using start stop. It's just fade out completely, back in completely. So oh, nice. You have the Boss 505 and a Voice Live Play for vocals. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, the rig run and how I connect everything. Struggling with cables in your sound. Okay, cool. I will go through that. It's on my list. I'm like, after this week of gigs, I even learned 2 songs. Matt, I think you'll appreciate this. I learned 2 songs specifically for an event that were never played. And I was like stressing about them. Like, I want to do a nice job, which, to be honest, that's fine. It's part of the territory, but just how it worked out. But it's been a very busy gig week, and as you will have probably noticed, the videos on the channel have not particularly appeared. But there was some film work done and some things taking over in my brain. And now I'll get a chance to actually create some of them. But I'm taking tomorrow off because it's my birthday. So yeah, so I'll be like 107 tomorrow. Jokes, only 14. But in saying that, just seeing as you're on now, what is coming up? There is a video on how to loop things that don't really look like they work for looping, which has come from a Patreon request. And we're going to go through Cruel Summer and explore it and experiment, see ways around how you might loop it. There is a timing video with Andrew Rooney, a drummer, because one of the most common things I get talking about looping is timing, like locking things in. And it's one of the, if you've ever done any looping and you've done something with weird timing, it's just doesn't feel good. And you sort of, if that's your first loop, you're either stuck with it or you have to do the awkward, like keep just playing for ages and delete it and start again to lock in a nice timing. And I learned from a little thing that I was like, it's like if you imagine walking, you know, when you see someone walk down the street, you're like, yep, pretty even, looks mostly pretty normal. And then you see someone with a limp and it's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Well, you don't necessarily see it visually, but we feel it with music. And I found out that I have a limp. I'll show you. We're going to go through that in this little live session because I think you'll all get some really good value out of it. And I can explain a little bit more in detail my experience from doing exactly this example that I went through with Andrew Rooney. So, sweet. Thanks for dropping in, Charlotte. Have a fantastic day in France. My French is terrible. I can say like ça va, but that's asking you how you are as you're leaving. So anyway, yeah. What were we talking about? Videos on the channel. There's a timing thing. We're going to dig into a few more reaction videos, and I have some confessions about the Zoom live track L8. That's all I'll say. But it'll be a video on the channel, so that'll be fun. Nice. There we go. Maybe you can teach me French, one word each week. That'll be fun. Anyway, for those of you that are on, we're gonna obviously feel free to chat, put questions in, put things in the chat if you want us to discuss them. But let's talk about this little rhythm idea. And this came from Andrew Rooney. It's literally from a video that is not out on the channel yet, but will be. And it did two things for me. First, it showed up that, damn, I suck. No, it showed up a gap where it was like, that's uncomfortable. You know when someone points something out that's really awkward, like you've made a mistake and you feel awkward? That is exactly what it was for me. So to dive into it, this rhythm concept is, you know, when you set a metronome, and I'm just going to use my phone to do this. Typically, we put them on the beat. So let's go with, say, 80 BPM. I think you can probably hear that. Let me know if you can hear a really annoying metronome. And typically we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put this into really basic looping terms, which would mean with our metronome on would be if I was, we're nearly in frame, but I'm just gonna do like a kick drum sound and then a slap on the strings. So typically we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, like really basic. Okay, so all good. Should be pretty nice in time. And then whilst chatting with Andrew, he was like, put it on the offbeat. Now, confession time for me, it took me a long time to mentally, because I've never done this before, have this be on the offbeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you're getting like 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So that this is, and for anyone that's like wanted just to cruise and like have a yarn today, I'm like, no, we're just going in there to mentally challenge your brain. But I had to do this to start with, just to count and have this be on the offbeat by going and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then after a while I would change the emphasis or the accent to be 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So rather than to start with, I was emphasizing like and 1 and 2. And when I played just this same like kick snare, I was like, I'm limping. This is not in time. So, yeah, again, this will probably make a massive difference to your tune. Start with something simple, and we're gonna do it just the same thing. So, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And what I started doing is tapping my foot on the ones, which are now in between the two metronome things. And 1, 2, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So we get this and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and if you're not used to it, it will be challenging. I was not used to it. It was not even, and what happened for me is after a while, by default, I would start going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then I'm like, damn it, I'm back on the metronome on the beat. So I had to go and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, it literally, to start with, was very much like a mental game. And then I started changing the rhythm. So mixing up different rhythms and having it be on the offbeat. And I started to really hear where those offbeats sit. And it has literally sharpened up. It's been a week. Yeah, it's been a week. It's literally really, really sharpened up my rhythm from doing this. I wanted to share it, and I just wanted to explain, because you will see the video with Andrew Rooney, and he does it so effortlessly, so automatically when we chat. I just wanted to explain to you all that it took me a long time to actually even start counting, let alone playing anything, to literally start with and 1 and 2, so that I could get my brain working with things, the metronome being on the offbeat. So so a little bit of like a brain gym for you today with working in this. Hey, my bub, moving along the beat would make it easy. Yeah, it's the default of what I've typically practiced, and I would assume the same for most people, that we set everything on the beat. Whereas it's still absolutely the same tempo, we're just hearing and listening for now the offbeats. Super, super useful. Again, you will see, we talk about it in the video. I think that'll be a really, really useful video for a bunch of people. Me picking a professional muso, a drummer's brains on timing to really lock looping in, because yeah, it's probably the number one thing that if that's not locked in, your loops, it's just always going to feel awkward. And as Andrew mentions in the video, it's like, it's a dream to play as a drummer, to play with a guitarist that has good timing. And then I went home and did this, and I was like, I am not a dream to play with. Sorry, all drummers that I have ever encountered. I apologize now for every previous gig. But yeah, I love those things. It showed up something new, and it really challenged my brain, and I wanted to share it with you all. So I would be curious. Let me know somewhere in the comments. Come back to this video if you have tested it out. You actually tried it, and over a couple of days as well. So just give yourself some time to play, to start with, to just get your head and your ears used to and having those metronome beats be on the and happy rhythm improving. So I have a feeling I know what it is about the L8. Can't wait. Well, I guess we will see. We will see. Yeah, cool piece of gear. And yeah, I've been chatting a bunch. Obviously, there's a bunch of comments that I answer and go into detail on the channel, and then people suggest different things. I look them up as well, and that's all fun. And we did our first live stream. I'm just going to kind of chat and hang out, unless there's particular questions that pop up, by the way. We did our first live stream 2 weeks ago, where we used the L8, and we had the main mix went into the live stream, and then we had a separate mix that went to our audience and PA and speakers, which was very cool, because we had an extra mic set up that was only for the live stream, so we could whisper sweet messages. So we could whisper things to just the live stream audience, which was really, really fun, and a nice way to use that combo. So it's great. I love it. But yeah, confession time in a video coming up regarding that. And yeah, if you've just jumped on, I'm just hanging and chatting, and we'll happily answer questions, discuss topics. If you want to rewind, if you just joined, we talked about a cool little timing thing that has helped me a lot in the last week. It will be in a video coming up on the channel as well, but I wanted to share a little bit of my experience with it also. So what's been happening? If you're on, are you out doing gigs? Are you working on some new loop covers and things like that? I have been working on some new loop covers. I really want to record some stuff, especially with the RC300. Really enjoying it, but my voice is just spent at the moment, and I'm taking a couple of days off to not sing and just let it chill, because it had a big week last week. No mystery questions tonight. Is that where it's at? Everyone's just like, nailing it. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, hi. Hey, Marcus, how's it going? Oh, you've literally reminded me, for the Voice Live 3 users, today I uploaded on Patreon my 3 main presets that I use, which really I probably could have and should have done a very long time ago, but it was actually a request from Frederick, and I thought, of course. So there are some weird things in there, but they are online. I shared them there. But yeah, just cruising. I'm gonna experiment playing. I've been still working on good old Neon by John Mayer. But if anyone has questions, put them in the chat. And otherwise, I'm going to test out if I can play it. But I'm not going to sing because, as mentioned, my voice is spent. And I'm really enjoying giving it a break. If you're working on something in particular, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to just like pause for a minute and I'm going to play some guitar. I also have all of you to thank for me getting back into Neon, by the way, because literally it was from one of these Ask Me Anything videos nights that I was like, I have not played a lot of that stuff that I really, really enjoy for a long time. And I've been diving into it and it's been really, really fun. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you. In terms of just making this kind of useful if people are tuning in, we talked a little bit about timing before. I talked a little bit about what's coming up on the channel, and I just thought I'm just rolling with whatever really comes to mind. But in terms of timing as well, I've seen a couple of things on the Voice Live 3 Facebook page. Like it's a group, community group, TC Helicon Voice Live 3 fans, I think it's called, regarding a couple of people struggling to get loop A and B synced in time. And so switching from the Voice Live 3 to the RC300, there's two things I noticed. There's one, the Voice Live 3 has smart mode where it does, its little computer brain is analyzing what you're doing and trying to match and sync things up. And it is less reliable than the RC300 in terms of doing what you want to do, and in terms of being tight with your timing. There is less room for error, and literally the difference is distinctly noticeable. I'm absolutely comfortable saying that after doing 10 gigs with the RC300. Like the difference is noticeable. It's just locked in on time. I have had a couple of the shows. Hey, Ant, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, New Zealand represent. I love it. Happy Tuesday. I have had a couple of false issues with the RC300. One where I have the expression pedal set to the loop volume. I faded out a song, created the next loop, and was like, hit play. Nothing came out. Of course, I'd left the expression pedal at 0, so that was telling the unit nothing. And after having some issues with the Voice Live 3, I like turned the unit off, turned it on again, which resets its memory. So long as I didn't move that expression pedal at all, worked fine. Did this for 2 songs, then noticed, was like, user error. And I have had one time where I was trying to clear tracks while they're playing, and I froze it too much for its, trying to tell it to do things it doesn't want to do, which was fine. That's my own issue. I'm aware of that. And pretty quick stop, off and on start. And I wrote and recorded a song today, just rendering now. Awesome, bud. Nice to see. I hope you've been doing a bit more stuff on YouTube, I believe, which is cool. So I expect that will be on your channel. Take a listen later. Cool, man. Yeah, we're heading into, if you're not from New Zealand, it's very nice. We're heading into summer, which is very cool. Yeah, I haven't been writing, especially this last week. I've just had a really, really full-on week. And the last 2 days since, so Sunday last gig, Monday, Tuesday now, I've just really enjoyed playing and creating some loop stuff and really looking at my set list, starting to dig into that properly for a festival in January. So I expect there'll be some writing. I've been playing around with a few little grooves and things that I think could turn into something and fit a flavor, a picture of what I see us doing at the festival, but we'll see. And there's been, just a couple of changes, creating on the just how I put together my tunes and what's actually built into them, whether I change some of that around, just creating grooves and the loop side of it. Marcus, no, that's good. I'm glad you brought it up. It's in the process, and I keep getting distracted, which is, you're probably not surprised. But it may end up being a smaller, as I've dived into it, I'm realizing there's smaller and what's the better way to put it? I think there's going to be more value in doing a slightly smaller book than I initially planned on putting together, with really some key points rather than diving into like every bit of detail. So that's a process. It's happening in the background. I really appreciate it. Please keep doing that. Please keep reminding me, because it makes me be like, okay, come on, like I need to just get something complete that I can share with you. But I think that's where we're heading at the moment, rather than initially like I was kind of like, is everything I know about looping, which you don't want to hear. No, maybe you do, but I think I think realistically, to make it more accessible and more valuable for everyone, is going to be some real key points that will make the biggest difference in kind of the shortest amount of time. So, Aurelius, are you done with the VL3 then, or still using it for voice effects? I'm undecided. I'm enjoying, for the moment, putting it aside and just really diving into the RC300, having a bit more of a perhaps raw sound. Literally zero vocal effects at the moment. And I've also lost a lot of guitar effects and options, going back to a very basic, literally what I dug out from my old pedal board. I am considering, just again, this is just what's on my mind. It may not happen. It may happen. Considering the Helix Effects unit as an option. and which would mean I would probably look at running that and maybe the old Harmony GXT from TC Helicon. There's something I'm really liking about, and could be two things, but there's something I'm really liking about the sound, totally unprocessed, of my guitar just going through the looper and then individual pedals. And so for the moment, I'm enjoying that. But there are various things I miss. Obviously, the vocal effects, various things that I have set up, triggered all in one pedal with the Voice Live 3. So just a bit different. Oh, thanks. How do I say CMT? Cheers. Appreciate that. Thanks. So yeah, cool. A few different questions and bits and pieces. Cool. Yeah. This is me jumping between questions, or at least, yeah. The Eros. I've heard good things. Be keen to know your thoughts, but so far I've heard really nice things, good feedback on that one, which is cool. Jumping back up, where are we? My bub, can you give some advice on how to start up with own music? I mean, I can. I'm sort of hesitant to give advice in some ways. I can tell you what I did, and then I think it's also, you can just look at like results and things like that over time. But I mean, I would write at home. I didn't have a plan on recording things. I won some recording time and I made an album, and that made a real big impact for me. And I gave my album to people being like, I'm terrified of sharing these songs that I've written. That was my journey. So yeah, that's what I did. But I guess now I would look at going and either recording like an EP, or recording like one track. And I don't know how much material you've got, if you've got stuff together. I really value getting into a studio, and you start getting other people's ideas, production, things like that as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'd love to hear where you're at. Have you written a bunch of songs? Have you released some stuff? Where are things at? Because I mean, the other side is, if you have production skill and with it, some sound engineering, mixing skill, you can perhaps do a lot of that yourself. You can get the gear relatively cheaply to get a pretty tidy sound, and then maybe send it to someone for mixing and mastering. But there's literally 1,001 different options on paths you can go with that. So I love your groove on guitar. Thank you. Chris, I switched to the RC505 and TC Helicon doubler from the VL3. Did not like the looper. I prefer set bars for singing and keeping the voice effect simpler. Yeah, sure. Cool, man. It seems to be happening a little bit. And loopers, this is the interesting thing, I think, at the moment. If a looper is not working for you, or has some interesting or intermittent issues or things like that, we're gonna switch at the moment. The industry is growing massively. More people are having fun with it. It's becoming like the Eros, a lot smaller with a whole lot more features in it. Or like say the Head Rush, like you've got a pretty solid unit, but there's a lot packed into it, 4 separate ins and outs, a whole lot of effects, all sorts of things too. So if something's not working, or the way the technology has some kind of hiccup, shall we say, or issues, which is kind of a little bit what I pointed out with the Voice Live 3 A and B, and its smart mode. It's not as smart, shall we say that? Yeah, and then for a live show, you don't want to be not trusting gear, or just being like, if I'm this tiniest moment out, I'm gonna have to loop this again. It's not gonna work. I mean, that starts to become a real problem for live shows, and I've worked around it for a while. You can get very good at it, which I did, but there's certain songs and certain tracks that I was like, I know this is a potential issue. So anyway, it's me just having a rant. Eros integrates well with the Beat Buddy, which can really lock in the rhythm process, especially for beginners. Nice. I know some people don't want anything they didn't generate on the spot being heard in the PA, meaning the likes of a drum machine and stuff. Curious. But yeah, it sounds like the Eros is really, really well. And I think we talked about it on the last one. The Maestro is their kind of extension pedal board to map and control it from different things. Yeah, so yeah, but I mean that's a really great option, and I really, as much as looping is great for your performance and that sort of thing, I really love them for practice. Like I've been demoing a new guitar. Fun. And it's just a great way to get a feel, to be able to set up and have fun playing, improvising, seeing how it feels all across the neck, being able to put in loops, totally different tonal range to my standard guitar, the Takamine that I've had for a very long time, but also the Takamine, as you possibly know, has had some issues, and I love it. We'll always love it, but it may be time that it stops being the main guitar that I'm using. So yeah, just some dramas with electronics and some of that sort of stuff as well, and then tone and all that fun stuff. Yes, so more experiments to have and happen on that. You will see on the channel as and when that all changes. So I look forward to sharing it with you then. But yeah, so curious, Aurelius, without the Maestro, do you feel that the Eros is quite challenging for live? I'm curious, just in terms of navigating, depending on whether you're using the 2 loops or the 6. Curious. Dun, 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 dun. I can't afford the gym membership required to carry the head rush around. Yeah, fair enough. I'm carting a bunch of gear at the moment, having 2 different pedal boards, with essentially the RC300 being one gig bag and a full pedal board of individuals. So yeah, I already wrote songs enough for 2 albums, but kind of confused on how to let it out, because I can record and produce them at home, but the rest of the process. Oh, okay, cool. So sure, if you've got literally 2 albums ready to go, there's kind of 2 fundamental options, just going back to releasing music. One is you can do everything yourself, and I sort of recommend doing a bunch yourself, even if you have someone else releasing. So the second option is you work through a label or a distributor that will help promote, has connections, to playlists, to different people, can see where they fit. I would recommend trying to connect with those people and see what their feel and thoughts is on your music. Because if you've got someone that loves what you do as your distributor, I think that's a great match. Like, wow, you're genuinely stoked with my album. I mean, that feels good anyway, but then it feels like a good fit. They're going to probably genuinely want to promote you, rather than sometimes when you go with a distributor or agency, you're one of who knows how many people came in. And while they will possibly tell you, yes, we do our best for everyone, if they're not really into your stuff, it's like, they're like, yeah, we uploaded it. We think it's a bit strange, or we're not really into it. So we just, we messaged a few people. We didn't do much. Just a lot of what happens. And you get told, sorry, just didn't really go anywhere, but we'll keep taking a nice chunk of your income in the meantime. Thank you. From all the work that you are doing. The other option is, of course, you can use CD Baby, DistroKid, TuneCore, the main three. You can upload and your own stuff onto Spotify, iTunes, everything online yourself. You are then now the sole marketer. It's entirely up to you what happens with that music, what happens with those tracks. And there's a lot of really, really good stuff and information online, but you're literally going into learning about marketing and understanding how, just brainstorming, how can I get these tracks in front of people so that they can be shared. You can become a really successful indie artist on Spotify and never be played on the radio. That's the world we live in, and have a nice income come in from that. And literally never be played on the radio or promoted, through the standard channels. So there's a lot going on. I think it's a pretty cool time, to be honest, for music and being able to do that, especially if you're able to produce it all at home. That's awesome. So, okay, cool. The Maestro only need for integrating the beat buddy in. Nice. Be fine with the Eros alone, just looping. Cool. Chris, I'm testing out a PRS acoustic, which I really like. So yeah, we'll see. I set up a few bits and pieces. It's a very different sound, very different feel. Bearing in mind this has been my main guitar for a long time, the Takamine. So it's a little bit to kind of get used to even consider other guitars. I really like the Matons, but there's just a fundamental issue for me. Part of what I like about them is their mic'd sound, that AP5 pickup, but I can't use that for looping. I have to kill the mic completely because I sing over looping, and I don't want my vocals going into the guitar when I'm looping in a lot of cases, especially directly through the guitar channel. Although it is a very nice setup. So yeah. Cool. Nice. Sweet. Good chats. I like it. I'm always stoked when everyone connects together and chats back and forth. But thanks, team. It's been fun. I missed you last week. I was playing a bunch of shows, as you can probably tell. I kind of am still in recovery mode. It was like really, really full on, and really grateful to be back playing and connected. Cool. Copyright wise, it's pretty much taken care of. I don't know if there's specific things in different countries, so I may not be the best person to answer that. Copyright wise, in New Zealand, it's pretty much automatic, and my stuff gets what's the word? Not licensed, but put up on APRO, which is ASCAP or whoever they or B, I don't even know. These are in the States. I'm trying to think who the BMI, the like kind of music licensing groups and royalties and all that fun stuff over in the States. So yeah, I might not be the best person to ask, to be honest. It's pretty automatic and simple in New Zealand. It's kind of already done. Yeah, and then yeah. So sorry, probably not the best answer, but yeah. I don't. Maybe someone can answer that, or maybe it's a quick Google search. My understanding, in most cases, you'd be pretty sorted to. You'd be pretty sorted to. What's the word? Just if you upload them as your original works, they will kind of be given identifiers in the system, whether it's with DistroKid or CD Baby or those guys. And hey, William, cool, dude, that's awesome. I literally, I remember that I did, a little like, hey, we reached 500 subscribers. That's awesome that you're on. Fun times. It's been a really fun journey creating videos, and who knew I'd be doing like little live sessions and hanging out and chatting with you all. It's yeah, cool. That's my general thoughts. Don't Marbub, I still am like, is this your last name or your first name? I'm not sure. So apologies if I've been getting it wrong or backwards or something. But yeah, I'm pretty sure once things are uploaded, like obviously, so long as you're not infringing on other people's copyright, you haven't just stolen their stuff, which it sounds like you haven't. You're genuinely writing and creating your own music, which is awesome. Then you should be good. But don't quote me, because the legal side of it is not my specialty. I'm pretty sure that's accurate, but if you want to be 100% sure, please do your research for yourself. So thanks, team. I'm disappearing. A bunch of stuff coming up on the channel, which I mentioned earlier in the video if you've just tuned in, and a cool little rhythm thing that's really, really helped me this week. There's a full video on that coming out, but I also wanted to share, if you missed it earlier, my experience of doing that, having never done it before, which was putting, that must be my sign to go, but putting the metronome on the off beats. And so yeah, you can go back, this video upload and go online, so you can check it out. But appreciate you all, and yeah, pretty cool. We hit 10,000 subs, all hanging out somewhere together from making looping videos and having fun, and generally just sharing some information online. So good times, lots of fun. Appreciate you all. Hope you have a magic day, afternoon, eve, night, wherever you are. See you later.